What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. All-star guard of the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving, aka Uncle Drew, has a torn ACL and will miss the remainder of the NBA season. Another blow to the Dallas Mavericks fans, another blow to the Dallas Mavericks organization, and the Dallas Cowboys season can't get here quick enough if you're a Dallas sports fan. With all that being said, he got hurt last night in a game that they eventually lost to the Sacramento Kings, a team that they're battling with for playoff positioning. Right now, the Dallas Mavericks are the 10th seed. So if the season ended today, they would be in the play-in game. They would have to win 2 games on the road to get into the real playoffs. And that would be a tall task, even with Kyrie Irving would have been there, and now injured and often injured. Anthony Davis would have been back. That would have been a tall order to win 2 games on the road in the Western Conference, because you're playing quality teams in the Western Conference. They go 10 deep. You're going to have a pretty good team, in my opinion, an underrated team, in my opinion, will be going home early in the Western Conference. With all that being said, the Dallas Mavericks still have Klay Thompson. They'll get Anthony Davis back probably in the next 3 weeks. So they still have, in my opinion, an excellent chance to make the playoffs. So right now they have like a 3.5 game lead over the Phoenix Suns for the 10th seed. The Phoenix Suns have been the most disappointing team in the NBA. So I do believe that the Dallas Mavericks will make the play-in. They get Davis back. They get Gafford back. They get Lively back. They have one of the most formidable front courts in all of basketball, but I think it's going to really come down to, can they score enough? I don't think they're going to be able to put up enough points to really make any kind of noise in the Western Conference. Even with Kyrie Irving, that was going to be a problem. Now that you take his 25 to 30 points out of the lineup, it's going to be a problem for the Dallas Mavericks to make any kind of noise this year in the playoffs. Next year, if they can stay healthy, you got 2 of your best players over the age of 30. Both guys have had a history of being injured, but if they can get those guys healthy and playing together, developing chemistry, they'll have one of the most dynamic duos going into next season, that being Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. Unfortunate news for the Dallas Mavericks, though, that the all-star guard who was enjoying one of his better seasons is now out for the season. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. You know, the Dallas Mavericks fans have been going through it here in the last month or so, ever since Luka Doncic was traded. A lot of fans were saying that was nasty work by the Dallas Mavericks organization, trading arguably the second greatest player in Mavs history behind the great Dirk Nowitzki. You traded him in his prime at 25 years old for a 31-year-old, often injured Anthony Davis. And you got back, I think, a second-round pick also. You didn't get a lot back. If you're going to trade Doncic, you got to get back a player on the caliber of a Giannis over there in Milwaukee, or Tatum over there in Boston. Man, you got to trade a top 10 player. If you trade a player of Luka Doncic's ability and what he's produced on the NBA court, man, you got to get a top 10 player back in return. And the Dallas Mavericks, in my opinion, did probably get a top 15 player in Anthony Davis. You know, when you're talking about both ends of the court, maybe you could put him in the top 10, Anthony Davis. But the problem with him is he's often injured, and he's 31 years old, 6 years older than Luka Doncic. So with the injury news of Kyrie Irving, man, the Dallas Mavericks fans are going to probably be saying, man, why don't we just shut down Anthony Davis? Don't try to bring him back. We're not going nowhere this year. And let's just try to get it going for next year with our 2 superstars that will be in the fold for next year. And let's see if we can make a run next year. This year has been a disastrous season anywhere, in any way you look at it. Started off rough as Luka got hurt on Christmas Day. Had made his way back before they traded him. They brought in Anthony Davis. He played a good quarter and a half against the Houston Rockets. Looked at all world, but he got hurt. He's out on the injury list. Hopefully they'll get him back in the next 3 weeks. Now you got your leader of your team, Kyrie Irving, a perennial all-star guard, one of the best handlers in the NBA, one of the best finishers in the NBA. A guy that, in my opinion, when he decides to call it a day in the NBA, will definitely be a no doubt about it Hall of Fame player. So it's a huge blow to the organization, but the team and his teammates are going to have to rally around each other. They're still sitting in a strong position as the 10th seed in the Western Conference, and I do believe when it's all said and done that they will make the play-in because they have a 3.5 game lead over the Phoenix Suns, who, like I said earlier, has been the most disappointing team in the NBA. And the three-headed monster of Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker have failed to meet expectations. So I do believe that the Dallas Mavericks will hold on to that 10th seed. If they get Anthony Davis back, you still have a solid 1-2 punch in Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson. Now, Klay Thompson's going to have to turn back the clock once they get in the play-in. If he can get back to the Golden State Warrior, Klay Thompson, and then some of them role players step up. You know, they got Max Christie over there, who's a rising young player. Maybe he can develop and be that third option. They got some nice players off the bench, man. Some guys that don't get a lot of shine because of Luka and Kyrie and those guys getting all the headlines and all the accolades. But they got some nice players off the bench. And again, if they get those bigs back, Davis, Gafford, and Lively, they could be a problem for a team like a Sacramento, a team like that they might play in the play-in game in the first round, or a team like Minnesota or the Clippers or somebody like that. They could be a problem. So we will see what happens, and we can see what transpires. And they also have one of the better coaches in the NBA, Jason Kidd. I probably put him as a top 5 NBA coach, right along with Spoelstra in Miami, Tyronn Lue in LA, you know, right up there, Kenny Atkinson in Milwaukee. Kenny Atkinson in Cleveland, Kerr in Golden State. I'll probably put them right up there with those top coaches in the NBA. So we will see what happens. At least the top 5 coaches in the NBA, I will put Jason Kidd in the top 5. My top 5 of best coaches in the NBA. So I'm sure they'll come up with a system to funnel the offense around Anthony Davis when he get back. Try to create shots for Klay Thompson off screens and picks. You know, and Max Christie will, become a more part of the offense. And then you still got P.J. Washington. I don't know why I said Max Christie. P.J. Washington actually going to have to step his game up because he's probably going to be the number 2 or number 3 option along with Klay Thompson. And then you get Max Christie. Maybe he can lead your bench, be that score off the bench. So the Dallas Mavericks still could, again, be in the play-in. I don't think they'll come out of the play-in because if you're the 10th seed, you got to win 2 games on the road just to get into the playoffs against the 1 seed. I don't see that happening. But, again, if they be able to get Davis back and those other 2 bigs and Lively and Gafford, you know, who to say they can't go on the road, maybe get a game, and then when you get a game, then you just want to win away on the road from getting into the playoffs against the number 1 seed, Oklahoma City Thunder. And if they're able to get that far, then that's when their season would definitely end, because I don't see them beating Oklahoma City because they got too much firepower, and their defense is too good, and they're just too deep. And they got just too many weapons for a team that don't have the weapons that they have. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Follow me on Instagram at JB Sports 3303. Follow me on TikTok at JB Sports New Media. Follow me on Twitch at Briscoe Ja 77071. Follow me on my YouTube channels at JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend 9656, and at JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend 8000. And like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend. And I holla.